E4, C5, and E6 next. Now against C3, we play knight F6, and you know what's funny about knight F6? I keep talking about it. It's like, it's unbelievable. People play C3, they want to play D4. All you do is attack their pawn. It's like, these people are crazy. They never defend it. I don't understand. I win this pawn by simply attacking it like every game. I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing. Pieces out. Yeah, we could take that. I'm probably gonna leave it though. It would be nice to take, but I'm more interested in putting the bishop here to unpin myself and just kind of play it slow like that. So let's put our bishop here. We could go like this, but I was gonna say I don't think we need to. E6 we can do. This bishop's always ready to come back to E7. Feels nice to unpin. Feels good to unpin. Knight C2. So the knight went here, 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 here. Like, could not be developed in a more strange way than this. Honestly. What is this new account about? It's about winning pieces. We're playing the Taimanov. The Sicilian with E6, Knight C6, Queen C7. Here, H3. Let's take this. Remember, this is not free. It's a bishop H7. Let's use the open file. Rook C1 is nice. Maybe he'll do this. I actually wanted to go here. I mean, the best he could have had there was 2 pieces, 2 pawns for a rook. Which is quite lost, but still, it's better than being down a piece, that's for sure. We'd love to do that, but I'm not sure that it's working. Not sure it's working. Let's make sure we have a escape square. You know what I want to do? Rook here, takes, and queen g5. Hit the rook, but most of all, threaten checkmate. But because I'm threatening the rook, I may decide to save the rook instead of defending the mate. Don't tell him. I'm attacking your rook. You haven't saved your rook yet. Gotta protect your rook, man. Gotta protect your rook. You don't want to lose your rook. Surely you can understand that. It'd be embarrassing to hang a rook here. It'd be a bad look to hang a rook, honestly. You don't want to be that guy. I mean, so many ways to save the rook. If you don't play one of them. Alright. Found a good one, didn't he? He found a good one. That's friendly. Queen d7 is very friendly. Allows me to mate without even sacking the queen. Thank you. Thank you. Good game, Chorogu. All we need to know is when people play c3, they want to play d4. If you play your Taimanov like this, right? And you play like, you're gonna be dead lost here. d5 is gonna slap you in the mouth. Rook on c1 is gonna hurt your queen. Like, really, really bad. When people play c3, they want to play d4. You have to attack the e-pawn. You must. And don't worry about this queen a4 check to win your piece. It never exists in the Taimanov, because your pawn should always be here. So white will do something like d3. Okay, that's fine. They're not threatening d4 anymore. Or they'll play this. And you can continue like that. Not bad at all. But so far, what has been happening when people play c3, I attack the pawn and they play d4 anyway. They just hang it. It's like, what the hell? So I don't know why, but that is, everyone's blundering it. Everyone is blundering it. Remember, c4 with the white pieces. e5, so we pretty much have a Sicilian on our hands here. Now we definitely have a Sicilian on our hands. Ooh, now it's almost like a Mora, right? Takes, knight takes. So let's pretend it really is a Mora. And the main reason I'm going to do this is that as soon as you take and open the C file, your setup in the Taimanov does not look as good. So I'm going to play d6. Same way I would play d3 if the situation was reversed. Okay, let's bring the bishop out. Stick into our usual moves here. Wow. b5. It's actually not a bad move. Not a bad move. If e4, we have knight d4, which is why I felt comfortable doing that. d3 next is going to be quite strong. Bishop f7, thank you very much. Yeah, we want to play d3 or just bishop e2 castle, but I like d3 to loosen up the center. If pawn takes, we take back with the bishop. And without thinking, taking the light square bishop in this position is going to be really nice for me. I think it might be time for this. There is an f4 move that is a little bit concerning. I don't think it works. So we'll start with d3. Takes. Knight d5. Okay. So takes. Knight takes on c3. I'm assuming. Could be pawn takes. But there's lots of problems on these diagonals. So queen takes c3 threatens mate. If bishop e5 after that, then I think queen b3. But maybe we have a bit better than that. There's also the rather obvious looking pawn takes f5. That's always a good move. I think we'll go with this one. Reason being, if queen takes, bishop here, even if I win the rook on e6, I don't like bishop takes on b2. So there are some lines like queen c3, bishop b5, queen b3, bishop b2, queen e6, king h8, rook d1, bishop c3, king e2 that I wasn't quite feeling. Queen takes, bishop takes. Let's do bishop takes. Time to finish our development. Yes. We're not going to pre-move something like that. You never know when queen h4 is showing up. And there's really a lot of it's really a lot of moves here. Bishop takes g7 is one of them. We don't want to drop this bishop. I mean, there's bishop takes b5, but how are we going to say no to castling when we're up this much material? That's what I want to know. f6 and bishop h7, bishop e4. Oh no. Now there's a problem. Now f6 is going to hit like a truck. And the reason is because of that. It is basically checkmate, so you'd have to sack your queen there, but brutal. Yep, this that move hurt. That move hurt. It looks like we took out a weeb though, so that's always nice. Doing our part, our service. Ended up actually being a Sicilian here. Of course you can take, but as I've been mentioning, open file for our Taimanov setup is a little annoying. I could take into a different setup, but I decided to keep it Taimanov and just give the pawn back. Black takes and then set up our pieces. Of course, not the best move, but would rather show the setup at this point. Sorry to disturb your 1069 rating, buddy. Really trying to encourage e5. I'm not sure we'll get it here. You guys know the drill. So e4 takes, bit annoying. But there's something that we've talked about a few times in the Taimanov, which is putting a knight on e4. So yeah, h6 can happen, but we'll actually go back there. And as you guys have seen, sometimes we even take with the pawn. For example, here. For example, here. Okay, we're jumping in. Bishop takes, although tempting to undouble our pawns, I'm actually going to leave the pawns doubled. I'd rather attack this and leave this pawn controlling f5. Because if black doesn't get f5, I'm sorry, it's going to be tough to play. Free pawn for me. Queen back to a4 looks right. Queen d5, rook c2. I guess it's not possible, so maybe this is a bit better. But there's also knight f6 there. Yeah, knight f6, queen d3. Let's bring the queen back. We know where the rooks go. We need an escape square. As a rule, my opponent has a dark square bishop and none other, so my escape square should be on a light square. Stop d5. Rook's in the middle. g3 and king g2. Well, I'm being offered a trade. And I'm up material, so I'm gonna say that's enough information right there. Rook c6, knight a4. I think I'm just gonna listen to myself and make sure to have that escape square. It's trading. Throw a check in. That's a yeah, likely blunder. So f4 would be mate. Like it would probably lead to a mate if we could do it. We can't do it though. So there we go. We just had to sit there long enough. He was gonna take care of things for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Save me some time. Just had to pretend like I was thinking. Found the mate in 0. Honestly, harder than anything I could have calculated. 1150. Oh, we got the reverse Sicilian here. Well, this is a common move, isn't it? Bishop c5. Always a pleasure. Okay. If he pushes, he loses that pawn, which is why he hasn't done so yet. But he'll get there. There we go. So now he's kind of threatening this. I think I might need to hit him with d4. Takes, we take with a knight and grab the bishop on e6. Pawn takes would be a fine move as well, but I like the look of the bishop pair. If I can get it. Okay, rook to the d file. Probably h3 will be useful for me. Well, I said probably. Now, it will be a great move here. I'm only taking a second because I might have a better move. f4 almost wins a piece here, but knight e3 is so strong, so I think it's time to just ask him to leave. Now, f4 again looks good, but c5 I think is the move because it comes with a little poison, which is the bishop hitting this knight on e5. So d5, the knight's hanging. You can see there might be some tactics like knight takes d5. A5 is a good looking move. Good looking move. And I like the idea to bring the bishop to d3 next. Takes back. Another good one. Takes. Rook b1 and b5 looks like the... yeah, probably the next moves. Ooh, that's friendly for me. So now I get in... got some threats here. Could have also gone rook d4 to just win the pawn on e4 outright, but this looked more dangerous. The b7 pawn I'd actually rather win here. And my king is so safe. It's so well protected. How do we want to do this? Takes, takes, and my dream is to sacrifice that pawn for that pawn. That's what I would love. More than anything. It's like, you take this pawn, and I take that pawn. That's what I want in my life. Accomplished. And again, if I could trade 2 pawns for 2 pawns, that's another goal. Okay, I've gotten everything that I want here. 2 pawns against the king should be quite easily winning. Just advance them like a big wrecking ball together. Here, I'm just taking a shortcut because he offered me a chance to trade the rooks there. And we get to once again showcase our technique. Yay. Our bullet habits. 3 versus 2 is technically a draw. I had 4 versus 2, so wasn't really close. And once again, people play bishop c5 and have to just go back. I don't know why they keep doing it, but they do. Okay, white pieces. c4. We did get our typical move, and man, everyone, they just love this. They love this stuff. Get our bishop out. Already, b5 to me looks like it wins a pawn. Already looks like it. Okay, we basically just picked your pocket. Came in, took what we wanted, and left. Stick with the theme of always taking. Knight takes, maybe knight c3. Queen takes. Okay, knight c3. Thanks for the tempo. And what's the big idea? Queen g5. This guy's addicted to giving me free moves. Well, we'd like to do something like this, but I'm not sure we're actually able to right now. Let's just develop. Queen takes, rook g1 and rook g7. Looks menacing for me. Wow, he's not gonna do it. Queen a4. Check. Again, this doesn't look too much like the open. I was actually gonna take here, and then I realized, wait a minute, you can still do that now the knight's hanging. So we go here. Well, that's covered too. We might have to go back to d1, which is not super fun. Yeah, now we're basically castling. Queen takes, I think still. Let's attack the bishop. Still we have rook g1 there. And he's just going back and forth and back and forth. Finally, he takes. For how bad his position is, he's remarkably resourceful. I have to say. Yeah, I was expecting this move. Ever the resourceful guy. I think it's time to sack because I'm not sure that keeping the pieces is working out here. Knight g3 if we want to just get out of the pin, but that's kind of his best piece, so I think I'm just gonna take it off the board. This is possible. Maybe even bishop f7. It's a little bit of a saucy move. He doesn't have to take it, mind you, but if he doesn't, we still continue the exact same way. Would take it back, but that's hanging. That takes priority. Thanks, Icarus, for the gifted sub there. Okay, check. F6, no. Giving me this. Thank you. And we do every move pre-moved. The problem is we are doing every move pre-move, but we're not really getting to win on the board because our opponent's as he has been all game, very strong. So at some point I was trying to do every move a pre-move and win, and then I was like, well, this is actually pretty easy because we can just flag him. Even though we had less time, it's so easy to just make every move a light square. But actually winning it over the board, he's quite resilient. Like, his position is all sorts of bad here. So he's a weird opponent because he blunders a pawn, he brings his queen out, gives me like 50 tempi, and it feels like he's dead in the water, but it's so impressive. He makes so many blunders, but at the same time, he's insanely resilient. Good player. Well, we're getting the white pieces a lot, and we're getting the Dutch a lot, so at least from time to time, we do get the reverse of the Taimanov. I can't explain, like, so many people bring the damn bishop out and bring it right back. It's wild. D4. I'll play rookie one first. Maybe just chill, go D3. Keep it more like a true Taimanov setup. Okay. Could win a pawn there. There might be knight B4. let's go back to this old plan. If he takes me, take back, goes d5, always a capture, takes, and I think we can do this one. We could decide to defend e4, but I think this is simple enough. We lose a piece, but we should be winning at least a pawn there. e5 and c7 are both hanging. Pull up, f3 gives me a bit of room. Let's go here to keep the initiative. Speaking of initiative, big fella on campus here. And unfortunately, he's going to lose a lot of material. He's one move away, rook takes g2, from himself maybe launching an attack. But not to be.